actually, Hamas started this whole thing. Remember October 7th? Actually, that's wrong. Before October 7th, Israeli security forces killed 248 Palestinians, and 40 of them were children, and that was just this year. And if you want to go back further than that, we can look at the recent history of war crimes committed by the Israeli government. Operation Protective Edge in 2014, Operation Pillar of Defense in 2012, Operation Cast Lead in 2009. Yeah, but you don't mention why Cast Lead happened. Hamas fired rockets into Israel. And that was because Israel broke the ceasefire agreement they had on November 4th, 2008, while the entire world was in euphoria over the United States electing its first black president, Barack Obama. Israel used the opportunity to break the ceasefire agreement and raid Gaza and kill Palestinians. By the Israeli foreign minister's own words at the time, this strategy of breaking the ceasefire was to preempt Hamas into an attack which they could use as a pretext for a much larger invasion. The fact that you don't see that is kind of baffling to me. Well, you're leaving out a lot of context. You got to go back further than that, to 1967. Yeah, let's go back to 1967, when Israel started a preemptive war against Egypt, Syria, and Jordan, and took more land from Palestine, further enclosing Palestinians into the Gaza Strip. They illegally occupied the Gaza Strip and the West Bank in what has been formally condemned ever since 1967 as an illegal occupation in violation of international law, unilaterally condemned by the World Court, the UN, the Red Cross, the Geneva Conventions, worldwide consensus. The majority of countries in the world all call on Israel to return to its pre-June 1967 borders. Yeah, but you're missing more context. You gotta go back to 1948. Okay, let's go back to 1948. In 1948, Zionists extirpated about 1 million Palestinians from their homes and forced them to relocate to the Gaza Strip. Today, about 70% of all Gazans are considered refugees from the 1948 expulsion. This predictably sparked a war. Yes, when you have colonial powers coming into a territory that does not belong to them and forcibly removing people from their land, it tends to get violent. Yeah, but you're missing context. What about before Christ? Invoking the Bible as an excuse to ethnically cleanse a population from its territory is a baby-brained middle school argument. Biblical rights have absolutely no status in the world today. No one can say that 2,000 years ago, this is my story of what happened, therefore I get to take this land from these people.
Hey, heathens. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me here. Sorry, started a couple minutes late because I'm a little off today, okay? I literally hit my head earlier today. I'm fine. I really am fine, I think. Pretty much. Yeah, I'm sure. It wasn't like hard or anything. Just not paying attention this morning and being distracted, trying to read and walk to go get coffee, and yeah. So it's me. Like, what really are the expectations? Just, but yeah, we have so much. My bad, Miss Heathen, Lord. Uh, now I know I joke about like Friday being the big, huge news day, but today so much was going on, and I was trying to keep up. So I think I think we got this. Let's start with the race to Speaker Mountain. Once again, we're going to start at the top of the day and go to the most recent. Last I heard, they're still trying to hash it out. So at approximately 11:18 a.m., the candidates were Tom Emmer, Byron Donalds, Kevin Hearn, Austin Scott, and Mike Johnson. Austin, hang it up, baby. They don't like you. Okay, you threw your hat in the ring before, and they didn't even nominate you. Just stop. And Byron, but Bobo, but just say bye, Byron Donalds. Just stop. Okay, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Then at approximately 12:06, it was down to Tom Emmer and Mike Johnson. both members of leadership within the GOP currently. Then at approximately 12:30, Tom Emmer emerged as the candidate. 3 hours later, at approximately 4:30, Emmer, Emmer dropped out. Now, some people are speculating that he dropped out due to what Donald Trump put on Truth Social, saying basically he doesn't endorse him. Okay. So then they went into another closed door meeting, and the candidates that were up for them to choose from during this last closed door vote were Kevin Hern and Mike Johnson. Now, Mike Johnson, a lot of people aren't familiar with him. So let me just give you what you should pay attention to when it comes to Mike Johnson, because he seems like a straight shooter. He gives you the quiet guy off in the corner that just abides by the rules. Yeah, those are the motherfuckers that you can't leave alone with your drink. Okay. Actually, don't leave anything around him. Okay. Don't even leave your pet around him. Okay. He voted to decertify the 2020 election. He was behind the shaky legal theories regarding the fake electors. Yeah, he's part of the January 6th crew. He's part of that inner circle that was trying to keep Trump in office through all of the lies. That's Mike Johnson. So are you starting to get a sense as to why he's motivated to become speaker? Now, there is a proposal on the table, even though the Democrats are still on board with just empowering the Speaker pro temp, McHenry, to get through because we're down to the wire regarding the CR that runs out on November 17th. We have aid packages that need to come through, all sorts of stuff. Still have promotions that need to be handed down, you name it, okay? But the new proposal comes from Kevin McCarthy. Of course it does. Of course it does. And I wish I was joking, but I'm not. I wish this was fantasy, but what do they say? Reality is far more strange than any fiction. It really is. McCarthy's proposal is that he be reinstated as speaker with Jim Jordan as the assistant speaker. They're trying to push Jim Jordan into the speakership some way, somehow, a little bit too much for me. And yes, we know that Jim Jordan is extremely aligned with Trump. We know that. But as mad as I am at Joseph Big Z Zionist Biden, okay? As mad as I am at him, I just, and no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I have a sinking feeling if Jordan gets anywhere close to any of the speaker powers, there's something is just going to go awry. I'm not saying that he's going to be JFK. That's not what I'm saying. But I just, something in my spirit. Jordan always has something up his sleeve. He always wants something out of it. Something. And as devious as Jordan is, and as devious as Trump is, even if Jordan pulls some shenanigans during the 2024 election to get Trump in office, Trump doesn't trust Jordan. And we know that Jordan would try to trip Trump down some steps. So that's where we're at. We're back to square one. Still no speaker. Still just got Joe Biden walking around like a mouthpiece at an elderly spokesmodel with nothing for us to. We did all of this to avoid a government shutdown, and essentially we have a government shutdown. In situations like this is why I sit back and laugh when folks get pissed and want to blame everything on the president and vice president, and this is regardless of who's in office. And I'm like, y'all really don't understand how any of this works. Like, I've never understood people's desire to want to be president. You getting stressed out for nothing. You can't do anything without Congress telling you it's okay. Like, for real, if you really want to look at the basis. Honey, child. Trump doesn't even Trump doesn't even trust Ivanka anymore. Remember, Ivanka split herself off of the New York fraud trial and is trying to fight a subpoena to go into court to talk about the fraudulent things that they did. She was besties, well, real close enough to be getting special treats and gifts and stuff from the MI6 agent that put together the dossier, the Russian dossier on Trump. At this point, I don't think Trump trusts his own bowel movements. I don't. Yeah. Now, coming out of Fulton County, another one bites the dust, and another one's gone, and another one's gone, another one bites the dust. Now, Jenna Ellis, we saw this coming. Okay, she's been complaining about Trump not keeping his word to pay her legal bills, even though she's an attorney that should have a lot of colleagues that would want to cut. But I guess not. I guess there's just no professional discounts in the legal field. I don't know. But Miss Jenna Ellis, age 38, is a fourth person singing the Fulton County blues. Please, please, please. Now, if you missed the full like a minute and like 36 seconds, I believe, of her giving her statement, which was not necessary during her plea agreement hearing, it's over on my TikTok page. But here's just a little bit of the rundown. Then I've got an article about it. She blamed others. So out there talking about being a good Christian woman and talking about accountability, and she blamed other people. She claims that others that were more experienced than her was who she took advice from and who she believed for her crimes. Now, because of her plea deal today, Magadonians that donated to the Stop the Steal campaign that eventually became a PAC. I don't believe it became a super PAC, but it did become a PAC. They want a refund. They want their money back. Baby, that money been spent. That money was spent before you sent it in. That went to jet fuel, KFC, Diet Cokes, legal bills. That money gone. Say bye-bye to your dollars. Everybody tried to tell y'all that they was lying to y'all. You didn't believe it. Y'all said it. Y'all wanted to argue with us in real life, online, going to town, stretching and reaching and putting your spine all out of alignment. You ain't getting no money back. That money gone. That money gone. Okay. That money went to Paul to pay Peter. And Peter skipped town. We may not have that much to worry about for this election. Things keep going. Now, the Colorado bar did already previously sanction her, so that may have also played into her taking this plea deal, on top of looking around to the left, to the right, like, oh, the other attorneys, they take a plea. Let me take a plea too. So she does have to do, just like everybody else, probation, pay a fine, must cooperate in testimony. Now, keep in mind, Jenna Ellis is the one who wrote the memos to Pence trying to convince him to toss out votes. She also was with Rudy Giuliani, and both of them lied to the state legislature. And today she came in and admitted to lying about election fraud. And just like Sidney Powell's like, well, no reasonable person, they gave the Tucker Carlson defense. No reasonable person would have believed me. Y'all knew y'all wasn't dealing with reasonable people. That's why you told the lies that you told. Like, I was waiting for y'all to say that lizard people was out here voting fraudulently. Like the lies regarding the election fraud were so far-fetched. It really showed you just how fucking stupid far too many adults are in this country. Now, this is the third Trump attorney to flip. And like I stated previously, Jenna Ellis was essentially the right hand of Rudy Giuliani. So Rudy, we know you still ain't got enough money to pay all these attorneys. And you owe money to the two ladies, the mother-daughter duo, the poll workers down in Georgia. Okay? You broken and broke. Okay? Your daughters don't want nothing to do with you. You owe money to your ex-wife because that alimony check bounced. Okay? She about to bounce you. All right, all right. And you can't go to jail because you put too many mafioso in jail. Oh, coast to coast. Okay. You can't go to jail. You when you signing your plea. When are you signing your plea, Rudy? Because I know it's got to come. I know it's got to come. Now, coming from the Associated Press, Jenna Ellis becomes latest Trump attorney to plead guilty over efforts to overturn Georgia election. I don't need no dang ads right now. Ugh. Attorney and prominent conservative media figure Jenna Ellis pleaded guilty Tuesday to a felony charge over efforts to overturn Donald Trump's 2020 election loss in Georgia, tearfully telling the judge she looks back on that time with deep remorse. Ellis, the fourth defendant in the case to enter into a plea deal with prosecutors, was a vocal part of Trump's re-election campaign in the last presidential cycle and was charged alongside the Republican former president and 17 others with violating the state's anti-racketeering law. Ellis pleaded guilty to one felony count of aiding and abetting false statements and writings. She had been facing charges of violating Georgia's Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, known as RICO, and soliciting the violation of oath by a public officer, both felonies. What I did not do, but should have done, Your Honor, was to make sure that the facts the other lawyers alleged to be true were in fact true, the 38-year-old Ellis said. A girl, they about to go through every case you've ever tried because you just showed that you don't fact check anything. You don't look at the evidence. Discovery is pointless when it comes to you. You're going to tell me at 38 years old, somebody tells you that Cesar Chavez is infiltrating digital voting machines in the United States. And you said, that sounds valid. Somebody told you that literal dead people were rising out of cemeteries to vote. And you said, that sounds believable. Somebody told you tens of thousands of teenagers under 18 were illegally voting for Joseph Robinette Biden as if that was going to do something for them. And you say, yep, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna go in front of the cameras every chance I get, and I'm gonna say this. As generally, the vast majority of the time, Jenna Bean, you opened up by saying you're following your belief systems and you must bring the truth to people. You know, just calling yourself something doesn't make you it. But you still trying to blame it on other people. I mean, you're going to have to blame it on other people because you got to testify against them. But you're still guilty. And it's still, you're 38 years old, baby Bob. You're 38. 38. Cassidy Hutchinson is in her 20s. And even she realized she screwed up. You're 38. Yeah, well, when you get to the pearly gates, that chapter in the book of life, that's gonna be interesting. Who you gonna blame that on? I would love. Hold on a second, JC, can I talk to you for a minute, JC? Hey, holla at me. I know. We don't really talk like that. Okay, I usually just have jokes about you. I get that, but I mean, you're supposed to be omnipotent and things, so you should already know that that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, still a heathen. Um, quick question. I don't want to die at the same time as Jenna Ellis. Okay. So can we work out a way that if she does go before me, I can just be a fly on the wall, so to speak, to see how she explains away all of the fuckery. Don't worry about me cussing, okay? Don't worry about me cussing. Okay. You're supposed to already know that this is coming. Okay. All the fuckery that she did in life. And if I do go before her, can I be assigned the one that will go over her infractions in the book of life? Can I? Pretty please. Um, I'll be a little bit nicer to people. I mean, I'll move closer into the neighborhood of niceness if you could let that happen. All right, get back to me. Thank you. I ain't got no good sense. Now, Trump is not having much luck with attorneys, okay? Now we know that he showed up in New York for the fraud case because for the first time in 5 years since Michael Cohen's congressional testimony, he's finally face to face with Michael Cohen. No more just, well, he was truthing on his phone because he spent the vast majority of the time in the courtroom on his phone, like a toddler with an iPad in a restaurant. But honey, there's a word on the street is that the woman on the legal team for Trump is having whole ass wardrobe changes. The attorneys appear to be more about creating a theatrical scene than actually defending Trump. This case, he's going to lose his business license, his business certificates to do business in the state of New York. Everything that made the Trump persona rides on this case. And they're acting as if they're putting on a show for a jury. This is not a jury trial. This is before a judge that they are consistently pissing off. And this heifer is having wardrobe changes for who? I still think she's auditioning to be Melania 2.0. But Cohen was not swayed. He got up and testified that him and Weisselberg would bring paperwork to Trump, and Trump's like, that's not my net worth. This is the number. Like, go fix it. Go make it look like that's the number. And it would just be an arbitrary number. Trump would just decide, nope, I'm worth this amount of billions of dollars. And it's weird because Trump acts like he was a very spoiled child growing up. And from what I've studied and what I've learned about Trump is that he was severely neglected. He was not just given things. It was not like he went to either of his parents and was like, oh, I want this, and they just gave it to him. When it came to the public persona of the family, they did a lot to protect him, to make him look good and look smart and look all of these things. But as far as once those doors closed and nobody was looking, no. So why? I don't know. But coming from NBC News, Michael Cohen begins testimony against Trump in fraud trial. The highlights. What to know about Michael Cohen's testimony? Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former lawyer, delivered highly anticipated testimony in the former president's civil fraud trial. Cohen was initially expected to take the stand last week, but had to delay his appearance because of a medical issue. Trump is also in court Tuesday to face down his former fixer. Speaking to reporters ahead of the trial, Trump ripped Cohen as a proven liar. He went to prison for lying for you. And for people criticizing Michael Cohen, like, well, ever since then, he's all over the place. All he does is talk about Trump. I would too. I'm going to prison for paying off bitches you fucked. Didn't nobody even blow my finger let alone diddle my tittle. And I'm going to prison for this shit. You getting all these loans, all these property, all this money. I'm getting nothing. And then Weisselberg got a settlement. Remember his retirement package of like $2.2 million? Cohen ain't get shit. I'd be talking to everybody too. Okay, I would just go sit at the bus stop and randomly talk to people about that motherfucker. Before heading into the courthouse, Cohen said his appearance is about accountability, plain and simple. Trump bashed Cohen while leaving the court and called his testimony a disgrace. The witness is totally discredited already, and they haven't even started, Trump said before incorrectly claiming that he's the AG's only witness. Baby, they've been going through all of the attorney general's witnesses, whether you've been there or not. Somebody go check on Trump, because the burnt toast must just be shoved up his nose at this point. And I'm not even being funny at this time. Trump is making a lot of mistakes. Like, he confused Hungary and Turkey and their leaders earlier today. Claimed that he didn't run against Biden the last time. He ran against Obama. He mixed up the Bush boys. But I guess. Okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I'm not even gonna try to be politically correct. All right. How do I really think Trump is doing? Once again, I would never try to diagnose somebody just from watching them across the screen. That is not how that goes. That is not professional. That is not the best way to diagnose someone, because everybody knows, one, whether it's TV shows or news, the media will edit things to make people look a certain way, regardless. And when the cameras are rolling, people can act however they see fit. But Trump has some cognitive things going on. He was already dumb as dog shit. Okay, he was already dumb as dog shit. But something cognitively is going on. I don't know if it's the booger sugar catching up with him. Allegedly, booger sugar. Or if he has early onset dementia. And I think that it's a combination of early onset dementia and pure stupidity. Just pure stupidity. And at this point, no one ever correcting him or checking him on things. He really believes and has convinced himself that he's not wrong and he's correct about everything. And I think that the dementia has been exasperated and sped up due to the stress of all these legalities. Would you stop? Now, we are going to get to Mark Meadows in just a minute, but I want you to take a look at something, because I told y'all, as I find people who seem to be internet plants, I'm going to point them out to you. And today has been a really wild day of a full court press from the Israeli government. It's either in the compilation from yesterday or the compilation dated for today in the Palestine 2023 playlist, where there was a TikTok influencer who got confirmation that her followers are being messaged in order to go live with pro-Israeli accounts. So take a look at this and be wary when people are telling you you're missing context.
Whenever people say there's missing context, you're also missing context that's relevant to understanding the history.
He's right. He's missing context. Do you want to know the context? Here's the context. In June of 1967, Israel started a preemptive war. Yes, a preemptive war in which they launched a series of first strike missiles into Egypt. The overwhelming international consensus, the entire world has been in resounding agreement year after year that the territory that Israel took in 1967 was illegal and should be returned. Year after year, the entire world formally condemns Israel for its unlawful occupations of the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and calls on Israel to cease the occupation and return to its pre-June 1967 borders. Every relevant international governmental body that you can think of condemns Israel. In a true demonstration of the power asymmetry exerted in global affairs, which should be very revealing to the listener right now, the United States, along with its lieutenant Israel, of course, vetoes every UN resolution that gets brought up year after year concerning the Palestinians' right to self-determine. Have a look at this chart, which can be found in Norman Finkelstein's book on Gaza. Every year, from 1997 to 2008, which is around the time that this book was written, here is every vote on the UN resolution to give Palestine a state of its own. 155 countries say yes. 2 say no. Who are the 2? Israel and United States. Here is some very valuable and important and meaningful context that this neoliberal is not giving you. The entire world resoundingly agrees that the Palestinians should have a right to self-determine. They should have their own independent state. They should have peace with secure borders. And this neoliberal is trying to come across as some progressive by siding with the minority in this situation, the United States, who is against the overwhelming world consensus. And he says, oh, but context.
But David, you won't say that in 67 and 73, Israel stole more land. Well, that's missing context. Israel was attacked by Egypt and Syria in 67.
Completely false. Israel started that war. You want to talk about missing context? Here's some missing context you were missing. In May of 1967, a month before the war broke out, Israel threatened and planned to attack Syria. In response, the Egyptian president Gamal Nasser deployed Egyptian troops in the Sinai, which belonged to Egypt, and they announced that they were closing the Strait of Tiran to Israel shipping, which they subsequently didn't even enforce, by the way. Multiple U.S. intelligence agencies at the time concluded that Egypt had no intention to attack Israel because, as Lyndon Johnson put it, Israel would whip the hell out of them. Israel faced no real existential threat from Egypt. It was only looking to acquire territory.
Does that mean I love it? No, but to say that on a whim in 67, Israel said, let's take some land, isn't what happened.
Yes, it was. Not only did Israel long for control of the Sinai ever since its founding in 1948, but the other main reason for attacking and starting a war was what Divisional Commander Ariel Sharon at the time said was Israel's deterrence capability. It was about instilling what he called Israel's main weapon, the fear of us. Now, what should really be appalling to most people here is that we have some spineless little weasel trying to sell himself as some progressive leftist when he is really just a mouthpiece for Western neoliberalism. It's truly ironic and sad that he decries leftists for missing context and then proceeds to provide bad context. And this is some of the most basic information, like who started the war in 1967. You don't even have to read a book about it. You could just go to the Wikipedia page.
You're going to see a lot more of this. You are going to see a lot more of this, and you're going to see a lot of larger creators, especially those with brand deals, that are driving us crazy right now with their TikTok shop ads. No, I don't want a shadow work journal. No, I don't want nail whatever on my face. No, I don't want none of that. No. Y'all don't have to put it into your skits. Y'all don't have to sit in your car putting wigs on. Who does that? Who said that was a good marketing idea? To have women sitting in cars changing wigs. Anywho, but you're going to see a lot more people either not talking about it anymore or at all, or changing up their stance. And a lot of that has to do with what happened today at the UN. The head honcho in charge said, hey, what Hamas did was bad. It was horrific, even. But Israel has responsibility because of what Israel has done, and listed it out. They are now calling, and by they, I mean Israel, is calling for his resignation. And then, the official Twitter page of Israel decided to trade skibbity paps with the UN's official Twitter page. Wish I was joking. Take a look.
So recently, the United Nations Geneva Twitter account made a tweet saying even war has rules, which is, I think a pretty fair tweet, pretty not that controversial. But as non-controversial as it really was, you'll never guess who that tweet managed to piss off. Actually, at this point, you probably can guess. It was Israel. They took a photo of that tweet and then decided to tweet on their own Twitter account, even Israelis deserve to live. Now, there's a lot to unpack there. The thing that I'm struggling with the most, that I honestly find the most interesting, is that the official Twitter account of the Israeli government is beefing with the UN over war crime laws. To me, as someone who doesn't do war crimes, I read that tweet and thought nothing of it. I thought, yeah, no, that's a pretty sensible tweet. Even war has rules. That's a thing we've established. But to the Israeli government, that was enough to warrant a legitimate response from their official accounts, leading me to the question of, why are you so upset about that? Again, me personally, as someone who doesn't commit war crimes and who has not committed war crimes and who isn't currently committing war crimes, it wasn't really that offensive. I wonder what reason could have possibly led the Israeli government to being angry about such a neutral and non-controversial statement. Guess we'll never know. But yeah, as always, free Palestine, and have a great day.
And this is where I need people. And this is why I say we give a bunch of different words for the same actions. Okay. Think about when somebody starts a rumor, when a bully is bullying someone, when a narcissist is abusing someone. They're going to be the first ones to talk about it. They want to get everybody on their side and make it seem like it's such a crime if you side with the other person. They're going to jump out in front of everything to keep the other person from talking. Because if the truth comes out, they have so much to lose. But I thought y'all were worried about the hostages. The hostages that y'all were claiming were being burned alive and tortured. But now, as they're being released to the Red Cross, because Israel keeps rejecting offers of swaps and releases, they're saying that they've been fed, that they're being taken care of, they're not being tortured, nobody's being taken out and killed. And like one of the women that was released yesterday, she was released because they didn't have any more medicine to give to her. But you have a government saying, hey, go to the South. We're going to bomb the South. Oh, go ahead and evacuate. Right after we bomb every method of you being able to evacuate. But we need our people back. We're just going to bomb everywhere. Aren't your people over there? Yeah, but casualties of war. If you follow my history series on TikTok and you saw the series on the United Nations, you know that Israel is breaking the rules of the United Nations. If you saw my history of the Geneva Conventions, you also know that they are breaking those rules also. If you saw the series on NATO, You know where this is about to go. But there are people that are still, but it's the Israelis that are under attack. The Israelis are the victims. They're being wiped out. They're making videos joking about people with full electricity, running clean water, fuel for their cars because they're just driving around. Oh, I don't like it here. I can hear the bombs too much. I'm going to go over to here for a little bit. Like, there's legitimate videos out there like that. People are going into bakeries, baking gluten-free goodies for the soldiers. If that's what it means to be under attack, baby, put me under attack. I got Wi-Fi, electric, food. I can just, you know what? I'm feeling very Gordon Ramsay today. Hey, Mr. Government Man. Yeah. I make some great ribs. You know, can I just use this restaurant to, you know, for the troops, and, you know, some content. And these people are coming up with egregious skits regarding Palestinians losing their lives, losing children, children becoming orphans. And so many Israelis are laughing. It's so funny. I can't wait for them to become a parking lot. But we're supposed to sit back and believe that they're under attack. And what's even crazier, the hate crimes that are now currently happening in the United States are predominantly towards Palestinians, those supporting the Palestinians' liberation, and Muslims. But every third video is a tyrannical, big Z Zionist Jewish person going, they're attacking us. They're coming after us. No. And the one that took the cake for me is Sister Girl in the back of an Uber, decked out head to toe in designer everything, full face of makeup, every bit of blinged out jewelry that she could fit in the frame. They're coming after us. Who is coming after you? But then in the comment section of a Karen being racist from a movie called Karen, we have people trying to gaslight Black folks going, oh, well, you know, she sits on the neighborhood board. She's just asking a question. That's not racist. Y'all always want to play victim. Why do you have such a victim mentality? You act like everybody's trying to get you. I swear, Black folks got fed up and said, fuck it, and we just didn't do shit else. I think that the world would just stop spinning. The world would be like, hold up, wait a damn minute. They ain't working no more. Oh, hell no. Y'all about to fuck my shit up. Let me go ahead and stop so all of y'all can just die off. We're going to start with this side right here. Burn. Just burn. We're going to let the sun burn. Actually, let me scoot a little closer. I don't want to be the third rock anymore. Let's be the first rock, bitches. All right. Enough of my soapbox for tonight. People might start to think that I'm running for office. I am not. Okay. We all know I don't play well with others, and I really don't do well with new people. And Capitol Hill seems a little dirty. Okay. It seems a little dirty. I would not make it. I wouldn't. And I'm not abiding by that damn dress code. What the fuck am I getting dressed up for? For us to stare at each other. Hell no. I will. Right onto the floor. And I sure the hell ain't taking my piercings out, and I'm not covering up no damn tattoos. If Kirsten Sinema can walk around looking like a meth head Malibu Barbie, Anywho, child, let's go on to Mark Meadows. Now, big news today is that he received immunity from Jack Smith. I know a bunch of people are about to go crazy and get this shit wrong, just like when they heard about the $100 billion aid package and didn't read past the damn headline. And even though I put out a video explaining the damn breakdown, and the vast majority of that money is going to Ukraine, and $40 billion is being split between Taiwan, the border wall, and some other things, and Israel. People still got it in their head that there's a whole $100 billion going. Now, Mark Meadows received immunity from the Department of Justice and started talking like he didn't have no other cases. Bro, you still on the hook in Fulton County. You still got some Fulton County blues. You need to sing the new blues melody. The number one hit going right now on the Fulton County Blues album, okay? It's track 2. Please, please, please. Yeah, Mark, go ahead and put your verse on there. Let's get the remix, okay? Let's get it going, okay? Now, it is reported that Meadows told the special counsel that he warned Trump about his 2020 election claims. He also stated that the claims were baseless and stated that Trump was lying to the public. He admitted that much of his book, remember, Mark Meadows wrote a whole book about this, was false, and he knew that it was false, and that he didn't even believe the vast majority of the things that were in the book. Honey. Remember, I told y'all this was just a grift. This was their best money maker. They was like, get your tambourine, go and shake your money maker. Yes, they was like, collection plate time, pass it around. Collection plate time, pass it around. But keep in mind, Meadows has been inconsistent with his recollection of events regarding the election fraud claims. He has publicly stated that there was fraud, but privately, and most notably to Jack Smith, he has stated that the 2020 election was the most secure election in history thus far. Let me put that caveat in there, thus far. And it is being reported that he spoke with the Department of Justice at least 3 times this year alone. So quit playing around. Now we know why he was trying so hard to push his Fulton County case to the federal level. It's not going to work, bruh. It's not going to work. Go ahead, like I said, drop your verse on Please, Please, Please. Track 2 of the Fulton County Blues. Let's get this soundtrack popping, okay? We need to go ahead and get Please, Please, Please done so we can go on to the next song, okay? We already got track 1 done, locked up. We covered that. Harrison Floyd did his thing on that one. He did his thing on that one. That was a nice little ditty. But we need to wrap up Please, 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 okay? Sooner we wrap up Please, 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 then we can get to Humpty Trump done fell off the wall, okay? Because then we can move on to just his trial, okay? We can get that ball. We can get it popping. Okay, we need to get that on and popping. But no, the immunity deal does not cover state charges. So you see anybody going berserk like, oh, Mark, yeah. And Mark's, once again, another attorney and Trump's former chief of staff, the man right there watching everything happen. Bro, you have to talk yourself into a pretty piss poor plea deal. Because you're not going to have much to bargain with if you want to say everything into the media. And I don't think Jack Smith likes you very much. He will drop a dime on you, okay? He will sprinkle so much shit that the only plea deal you're going to get is not probation. So quit playing around. Quit playing around. Okay. Let's wrap out the week with you going ahead and signing that plea deal. Okay. And you might want to give little Rudy a little buzz. And yeah. Tell him that Trump ain't loyal. And to stop playing around. And as many RICO cases as Rudy Giuliani has tried, and the fact that Rudy Giuliani got so good that he started to understand how the mafia moves the way the mafia does, bruh, don't do it. Don't do it. Only thing I can think of right now is Giuliani is, I can't think of the mobster's name, but he's just going to pull that defense, act crazy to try to stay out of jail and to avoid accountability. But baby, everybody else about to tell your story. Everybody else about to tell your story. Just go ahead and you tell your story first. Cause baby, if you let them tell it, they not gonna redact anything at all. Especially since you was touching people and trying to force people to have the coitus with you. That's nasty. Okay, it's illegal. It's wrong. You need your ass whooped for it, but it's also nasty. Have you looked at yourself, Rudy? Now, I believe that there's beauty in most people. I'm not going to say everybody. There's beauty in most people. I don't think there's any beauty in you. You look like you got worms seeping out your pores, honey. You do. You do. And it's already come out that you were practicing law. I mean, it's practicing law under the influence of alcohol. Like, Trump stressed you out that much that you could not be sober at work. That's a problem. If your boss drives you into an addiction, I don't think that's who you should be loyal to. Just my personal opinion. I just want to share that with you because I care. Not about you. I just care. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, okay. Everybody says sweat and hair dye. Let me tell you my theory behind that. I don't think that was hair dye. Y'all remember the old school shoe shining kits? You know, where they used to be able to like go to the mall, or there'd be like a guy next to like the newspaper stand, and you get your. That's what that seems like that was on his head. I don't even think that was Beijing. I think he used a little shoe polish. I think he forgot his little can of hair dye, and I think yeah. But with this whole Mark Meadows thing, as many times as Trump has touted Mark Meadows as so great and the best and so loyal, Trump can't do what he normally does and try to play the blame game and act like he doesn't know who Mark Meadows is. So is he going to just sit there and be like, I didn't have a chief of staff. I don't even know what that is. Like, I did everything myself. Is that what he's about to try to pull? Because with everybody else, is like with Sidney Powell, she wasn't my attorney. She was bitch. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. But it's okay. 100 got here. Oh my God. We ain't got no sense over here. Alrighty. As always, thank you all for joining me here for Conversations with Taz on Talk About It Tuesday. I am going to get the Tazisms out. It won't be today, though. It'll just be a Wednesday and a Thursday one this week. And if you all would like to join me in celebrating my mom's birthday this year, it is Thursday. May she continue to rest in peace, because if she shows up at the door as a fucking zombie, I'm gonna have a problem. But her favorite color was red, and she loved chocolate cake, so celebrate with that, I guess. I don't know. Oh, and she loved Law and Order. A little bit too much. As a matter of fact, that now explains a lot. Oh. Yeah. But as always, check out the links in the description of the video. And make sure you share the content. And when you come back, bring a friend. Or 5. Or whatever. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. I will see you all tomorrow. And I do believe Chris will be back. I didn't run him off. I promise. I don't have him stuck in a closet somewhere. Till tomorrow, y'all.